So, as we talk about the making of the Bible, there is one golden rule which says the Bible can never mean something else than what it meant when it was first written. Remember, the Bible was written by people that were Greek, people that were Hebrews. From the Old Testament, it was Hebrew, and then from the New Testament, it was the Greek. So you realize that even the translation that happened in the 1600, English was still growing. English is not an old language like the Hebrew and the Greek. English doesn't have better verbiage to explain some of the words that were written from the original form of the Bible. So you realize that there are words like world, there are words like sin, there are words like all those words that can be defined in English will not necessarily be meaning what you think it means, especially when you use an English dictionary, because you cannot define the words that are in the Bible using the English dictionary, because English doesn't have a better verbiage to explain what it was meant when the Bible was written. So the Bible was not written to us. The Bible was written for us, even though it was written to the people that were there in the time when the Bible was written. So for us to be able to explain or to interpret, which is the humanitics when it comes to theology, you must be able to go in the culture that the people that wrote the book live in the time that those people lived, and be able to come with their language and explain it in the verbiage that we understand right now with the English that we have. So you must know that whenever you are interpreting the Bible, you must take cognizance of the language that was used, the culture that was the people practiced, and the verbiage also, the pronouns, the verbs, those tenses, you need to understand them for you to be able to come with a conclusion. But remember, the Bible must mean what it meant then. So the language of the Bible must bring you to one conclusion or to one answer. So if you see preachers preaching about a certain scripture or a subject, and they come up with two different answers, just know one of them is lying, or the other is saying the truth, or both of them are wrong. So there must be one interpretation for every scripture or chapter in the Bible. So it can never be different meanings. It must be one. So we must be able to come to that point where, as Christians, when we hear a teaching from a man of God, it must sound, it might not be sounding the same, but it must at least say the same thing that the other pastor is saying. So it must have a core message which explain whatever is being interpreted from the Bible.